The city of Reno kind of ignores this, you know.
Nobody knew I was really going to it was a gay rodeo that I went to.
Stay tuned for some calf riding at the Reno Gay Rodeo.
It's something that was started for a fun thing to kind of show that the gays can do the straight athletic things. It's still in its camp stages or amateur stages, but we hope to build it into something a little more professional.
I think the gay rodeo fell into my life and actually pulled me out of a slump. The KKK was the one to kill me. I went to get in my car, which was from about here to that shed, and just putting the key in, and I happened to look up, and it said, in blood, you're dead. And I got out of the car so fast I sprung the door.
1975 in Reno, Nevada, a man by the name of Phil Ragsdale was involved with something called the court system, the imperial court system, and that was a gay organization that based around the idea of royalty with an empress and an emperor. And they raised funds for local charities, mainly in the Reno area, and he was trying to think of some new way to raise money, and he came up with the idea of having a gay rodeo to raise money.
The camaraderie and the atmosphere of the gay rodeo family. I mean, literally, you can go anywhere in the world and be welcome no matter what because you're part of the gay rodeo. I don't think it necessarily has to be gay rodeo. It's just, you know, back in the day, that's where gay competitors felt safe.
That's what it was like back then too. We would all get together and help each other. What do you need? What do you need? What do you know? And you're doing the rodeo. Okay, what can I do to help you? Even for coronations, for emperor and empress and that, you know. Hey, you want to be in my program? You want to, you know? And you did because you could. We were a really great community. I don't know what the community's like anymore, but the community back then was really, it was fun. Oh, it was fun.
This was a 1984 program, and of course, every year, Phil would do a letter in the front, welcoming everybody to the rodeo, and you know, and all this, thanking them and stuff like that. Is there anything in there? No. This is a view, what is it called? Viewmaster or something like that. And you put a slide in it and you push the button back here. And I'm probably gonna put this in upside down and backwards because that's what I always do. And then you push the button and it'll show you the slides. never actually sat me down and said, I decided to do the rodeo because of this. Only thing I can think of is because it was different. He thought it would go, it would work. Probably he wanted to raise as much money as he could.
Year there was like 125 spectators. By the time I started going in 1981, there were about 8,000 people in the stands. And their last rodeo in 1984, they had probably about 12 to 15,000 people in the stands. In 1982, I believe it was, people from Colorado had heard about the rodeo. They went out there, 81 or 82, and they thought the idea of gay rodeo was great. But they only had a few people there, and they came back the following year with 400 people from the Denver, Colorado area.
The rodeo got me involved. And I think that was a push or an ego for me to keep going.
Instead of having just one a year, let's try to create regional rodeos, and then we can all go to Reno and have a national finals rodeo in Reno and keep it going too.
And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
The Public Affairs Department of KOLO Radio now presents Community Focus, a forum discussing Reno events and issues. Very young, actually. I realized when I was probably 3 years old that I was different. I had an attraction to men. I didn't know exactly what it was at that time. It was somewhat, of course, it was suppressed.
It always gives me chills because I remember that day that it was happening and I was laying on my bed listening to this. Just, a million thoughts going through my mind about, oh my God, this is real. This is happening. This is going to be my new life. I can't explain it or describe it, but I was very happy, and like I said, it was just, I wanted it to get over so I could get a hold of somebody. I know we met at a Denny's, I think, and had coffee. And then he told me when the next meeting was at the court. And I said, I will be there. And I was. And from then on, I was at all of them. I knew I had been gay for quite a while, probably since I was 16, 17, or maybe even later than that, earlier than that. And that I told him my whole story about, being upset because I was gay, trying to pray the gay away, and just not knowing what to do, not knowing how to function, not knowing where to go, and even about me contemplating suicide because I didn't want to disgrace my parents, And so, and he kept reassuring me that this is okay, this is normal, this is fine. And I said, normal? It's normal, yeah. It's just who you are. One of my best friends is named Nathan Leopold, and he was a drag queen. And his drag name was Natalie. He loved pink.
And from Reno, Nevada, Natalie! It is a lot of work. For all 5 years I've been in it is a lot of work, and it's just to show that I support Phil Ragsdale and the Gay Rodeo Association, and to show them that a drag queen can ride a cow. Well, I'm not a rodeo boy, and I just did it for fun. So she just opens up and you're just bouncing up and down and trying to stay on, and you ignore the audience and everything else, and it's just a trip.
It's claimed to be one of the largest homosexual gatherings of its type. 55,000 people attended the last gay rodeo, but this year's 4-day event is being overshadowed by the deadly AIDS epidemic, which afflicts mainly homosexuals. Attendance is down. In fact, at one point, it seemed as if the event wouldn't take place at all. Reno residents organized a petition calling for the gay rodeo to be barred. 8,000 signatures were collected, protesting at the prospects of potential AIDS victims being allowed to roam in their midst. An injunction was sought but refused. Feelings are running high, even though there's no evidence that the disease can be spread through other than intimate contacts or blood transfusions. But for some, it's a matter of principle.
Out here in the West, in the United States, we believe in rodeos, and we think homosexuals are giving rodeos a bad name. Here they have a drag queen festival at a rodeo. That's not American, that's not rodeo, that's not family, that's not Christian. They're forcing themselves upon us and giving Reno a bad name.
That pushback, they don't see the two together. Gay and rodeo don't exist in some people's minds. We're getting so much further, we've come so much further, but I still think that there's a long ways to go with some people because you have to break those stereotypes.
The rodeo isn't bad. It's a group of people together. It's a lot of love here, a lot of people caring for each other. If I could encounter Reverend Hansen, I'd probably tell him I loved him too, but I don't plan on dying from this, and if he would take the hate he's trying to generate and turn it into love, we might find a cure for this disease.
Security has been stepped up following a series of bomb threats against the rodeo's participants, who are nearly all homosexuals. But despite the problems, the organizers of the event, which also includes a wide range of social activities, insist it's been worthwhile and that a 9th annual gay rodeo will be held next year.
And I remember the pickets that we were all going to hell. And I remember a lot of us kids going, judge lest ye be judged, or whatever that saying is, and it never really fazed anybody. Nobody ever wanted to fight or, get in trouble because of it. Like I said, I don't remember any pushing, shoving, any name calling except them at us. And I don't remember ever hearing anybody, because I was right there at the gate where they were coming in, taking their tickets or their money.
Religious right group, and they would protest every rodeo, and they'd try to get the city council to, refuse the permits for the rodeo grounds.
Oh, it's a very serious problem. We've had over 300 cases to date. The disease continues to double every 6 months in its total numbers, and it's a very devastating one, both in terms of the medical problems that it causes and in terms of the social problems that it generates.
We didn't know if somebody could breathe on you and you'd get AIDS. We didn't know where it came from. We didn't know why it was doing what it was doing. We didn't know why it was attacking the gay community.
My dad wouldn't let me home for almost 6 years. When the AIDS epidemic really hit, remember? He wouldn't let me come home. He wouldn't let me come home for Christmas or nothing. No.
We were talking, and he said, yeah, I've got AIDS too. And he says, nobody will touch me, nobody will hug me. And you just hugged the guy, and it wasn't any Princess Di or Mother Teresa thing to do. It's just, we all got along so damn well back then. Even when we hated each other, even if we were mad at each other, it didn't matter. If you needed something, what do you need? I'm there for you.
Scientists and doctors working in the AIDS unit concede that there's still no cure in sight. In San Francisco, with the largest homosexual community in the world, the fear of AIDS dominates everything. Businesses and gay-related enterprises have been hard hit. But more than that, the fear of the disease may change the community's way of life. This year's gay rodeo is being held as a benefit to collect funds for research into the causes of AIDS. Gay groups here have set up special booths where information on symptoms and advice on how to lessen the risks of contacting the disease is being made available.
There were so many people that were dying from AIDS, and they used that as a catalyst to raise money and give money back to our communities where the funding was very small. But getting involved with it, that's how I got involved, was through dance. I entered a dance competition, but then I actually had a partner that I lost to HIV and AIDS. Sorry. Back in 1997. And a lot of those charities that we helped actually stepped in and helped us during that time. And so for me, when I lost my partner, the gay rodeo was an outlet for me, and where I felt welcomed, and I felt people that were non-judgmental and there to help.
Probably 75-80% of our friends died. And it was just Oh my God, it was a nightmare. I went to see him just before he died, and oh my God. I had to really, really, really work at not falling apart in there, because he was in bed and he couldn't move. Oh my God, he was a skeleton. He was just skin over bones. And it looked like Phil, but, you know, it didn't look like Phil. And he couldn't hardly talk. And when we got outside, I lost it. It just destroyed me. I've got pictures in a frame sitting there on my thing, on my headboard. But Natalie loved pink, and he loved flamingos. So every time I see a flamingo, I think of Natalie. Every time I see pink, I think of Natalie. We were like best friends of all time. I was with him when he died. Natalie actually told Michael before he told me, he says, I want you to know that I have AIDS and don't tell Ray, because I know what it's going to do to him. So then later, he told me, and it did what he knew it was going to do.
Church was packed. Trish and I wound up in the choir section upstairs because they ran out of room. People were standing in the aisles for his funeral. And his mother fought tooth and nail that he be buried and not cremated, because those were the days when even the mortuaries did not want to bury anybody that died of AIDS because of the bodily fluids. They were afraid they would catch AIDS. And his mother won. He was buried. He was not cremated.
I have a picture of Nathan every day I look at it in my bedroom. And every day I think it wasn't fair. What would I say to Nathan if he was here? I've missed you. Welcome home. Bill would be a little different. I would say, welcome back, let's kick some ass. That was some of the happy times of my life. I had so much fun.